Hello everybody! Welcome to another Snapshot review. This time it's 13 week 4A. So they've changed a few things, in fact. One of them is they actually nerfed the bone meal. So if I grab a couple seeds here, let's go pumpkin, melons, we've got carrot, potato, and our good friend just the regular wheat seed. Now, if I grab said bone meal, it takes a few tries to fully grow things. So, like for example, these, it takes 7 times using it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to fully grow. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there you go. The same thing goes with the saplings. And I'll show you another interesting thing we can do now. If you put bone meal in the dispenser and click the button, of course, it'll actually use the bone meal. Now for the saplings, it takes 2 times to grow a tree with the saplings. Huh. I guess I don't have fancy on. Where is that? Fancy. There we go. I don't know why I didn't have it on. And that brings us to a few other fun things that the dispenser can now use. One of them being fire. If you just throw flint and steel in there, it uses it. And you can light things on fire with just a redstone signal. And if we use TNT, it'll actually prime TNT and drop it out of there. I wasn't expecting that. So I've got a bunch of TNT in here, and oh. Well, that stuff doesn't matter. And last is you actually can see, as you can see, you can put these on the bottom, the top, and it'll face any direction whatsoever. Same with the dropper here, though it's a slightly different picture for both of them. Let's show you here. If we throw a pressure plate down on here, we can do this. Here. It'll automatically equip armor if you throw it on that. 1 second, where is our daytime one? Day. Okay. Yeah, so if you actually use a dispenser from 1 block away that has armor in it, it'll automatically equip that armor to you. I just did this layout like this for fun. You don't actually have to put it in the right direction for it to equip to the correct slot, as far as I know. So like I can go in here, I can put the boots in here, and it'll still equip the boots properly. Yep. And another thing that they've done is we've got our zombie pigman here. We've actually renamed him. And I don't see it. Huh. Well, he was renamed. You can just run over here, throw a name on him. We'll be like, I know. We've got Fred. So, if we place Fred down, he actually has his name over it if we're near enough. If you get a little too far away, it doesn't show up. Which brings us to another thing. If you're in creative mode, you now have that extra block distance reach to also attack. So, can attack things safely from a distance now. So like flying up here, can still hit Fred. So another thing, I actually haven't done too much testing into it, is supposedly mobs are afraid of minecart tracks. I haven't actually seen anything with this, but die. Let's see, if I put a zombie here, or a skeleton, or a creeper, they don't seem to be doing anything. What if I throw a minecart down the track? Nope. Nothing. It's like they don't even care. Yeah. Well, whatever the thing is, they're now supposedly be scared of tracks. But as I said, it doesn't see it. I tried before and it didn't seem to do anything. I hoped maybe they'd act up if I was doing it on camera, but nope. They just, the only reason he left is to get under the shade, and that's it. They don't seem to be scared of it at all. What if we throw this on here? No. What if we throw a TNT minecart on there? They afraid of the TNT? No. So, on to the rest of the snapshot. We've got the new setup they did for blocks. Pretty much before, you have half slabs, and they would just, display like double half slabs when placed together. Now, if you actually use a higher damage value, as you can see, this just looks like a sand block. But this is actually made out of sandstone slabs. And the way it does this is if you use the higher one, it'll actually take the top texture and apply it to all sides. So, we've got a wood slab here, we've got the quartz slab, nether slab, brick slab, and stone brick slab, and even the cobblestone slab, and they look like full ones. Now, for all these, there's other blocks that do it, and really, if you have this one, the sandstone slab, you can actually, let's see, let's give me, what is it, 43, I think, and 1 and 9, that should give us, yes. So, this looks like sand when you place it somewhere, but it's actually sandstone, which could be cool for some maps where you want sand view, but you don't want the gravity. But most importantly is people want this block here, which, same thing, except I think an 8? Yes, damage value of 8. And this is the smooth stone slab block, and people quite liked it, and they were removing it, but instead they made it so it's still obtainable, at least in creative. So that's cool. And one last thing, we now have a new system for determining score. So we could go in here, and the command is called scoreboard. So there's a few things we can do. We can do objectives and players for right now. And for objectives, we can add a score. We'll do, I think it's add. Yeah. Objectives, add. We'll do time. And we'll set it to just a dummy. And there. So we add a new objective time. It doesn't show up, however, even if, say, we go scoreboard, players, add 1, let's see, time. So add 1 to my time, but nothing. However, to show this up, you can go scoreboard, might need the / scoreboard, objective, set display, sidebar, and time. Now, it'll show my score over there if I have a score. If we reset it back down to 0, which we can do simply by, I actually have it set up on a command block here, so I can show you the command block. Right here, we just do scoreboard, players, reset, and the player name. Right now, the @A doesn't seem to work, so these don't actually work within this, as far as I can tell. That may be just a bug for now, maybe intentional. Either way, they're not finished with this feature. They've still got to implement things like teams, which they're planning on, which will be pretty cool. But so far, I found out something quite nice that I can do with this, that I actually kind of was planning on working on this before, since the last snapshot, but this will make it much easier. So I go here, resets my score, and it starts this little timer. Now, the timer sets to a couple command blocks. This one just makes sure it's set to noon all day. As you can see, the sun just keeps on jumping back and forth. This one, however, checks for a player in a certain area, right there. Then, we have a little AND gate hooked up here, so every time we check for a player, we actually need to fix this. I need this right here. Okay, so every time we check for a player, what it'll do is it'll first check to see if there's a player. Then, if the player is within that area, it comes over, sets off this command block, and adds to our score. So, as you see, we have no score, but if I drop into here, should start counting up. What? Maybe I set that too high. Okay, let's try this again. Come over here. Huh. It was working before. Maybe I don't need this in the way there. Oh, I know what it is. The issue is before I accidentally typed the command slightly different. We need to come in here. We need to change it to a capital T. So, now, this is just a 1 second timer. For every second we spend over in this little area, you can see that our score will go up by 1 second. Now, we leave, stops. Go back in, leave, go back in. So, I actually planned on setting this up before, though I was going to use hoppers and item counts and stuff, but that's not nearly as cool as this, because what I'm doing is I actually have a King of the Hill map that I'm working on. And so now I can actually display the score. So, we've got objectives, set, list, time. So, now, I don't know where the... Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's where it shows it. So now, when you have the tab list open, it will actually display the score up there. So, there are the two areas. One, on the right-hand sidebar, you can display one score, as well as in the server list, you can also display a score. Which will be... You know, there's tons of cool things we can do with that now. We can do a time, like I have over here, a base score or otherwise base score, but we can also put up top, so up there we can show, say, a kill count or a death count, and so we can actually have multiple scores set to show in a different spot. Either way, it's nice and cool, and like I said, I'm actually working on a little game map using a King of the Hill type setting. I'm hoping I can get it finished as soon as they set team settings into here, but for now I can actually just go in, click this, change it to a player's name, and then do the same thing. So every time a player is within a certain area here, it'll actually put out the signal. As well as I have the comparator block here. If I actually want to, I could put a comparator block here as well, set another one over here with a comparator coming out of it. Now, this one will be, say, you know, the first player. This one's the second player. And then, you know, so on. Or I could do two teams. And what it will do is if they're both the same, then, you know, I could have a setup like this where there's two sets of these. This one's only going to work one way. But if they're both the same, then the players will actually... Then it will actually, neither player will go up and score. I could actually set it up like this. So I have comparator block coming out, redstone coming out, comparator block coming out, redstone coming out, here. Now, from this setup, I just need this, and we go like that, and like this. So, if we come over and we'll actually just use, instead of these, we'll use a block like so. Redstone signal. Now the way this should work, so if I turn this on, this signal will actually turn on. Yeah, if I turn this signal on, they'll both be on. Huh. Wait, no, is it this? Huh. So the newer player overrides. That's cool. That'd be an interesting way of doing it, but I would rather have it the other way. See, like this is how I'd like to have it. It's where if they're both on, then neither of them work. But I don't seem to get that. Well, I'll figure this out a bit more because, like I said, I want to actually have this as part of it. I want to make it so that if there's both players in, then neither player will gain time. So kind of like a draw as like an option. So as well, I want to set it up so that if, say, a player, I want to set it up so that if we can have a similar setup where the more players on one team that are within the zone, the more then that team will actually get a higher score. Will get a score. Though there's other things to work out, such as like actually counting the number of players within a zone, and then if there's more players within, then each one of those players gives an extra second to the time. Things like that I need to work out. But otherwise, this I think has a lot of potential with the whole new scoreboard system. The scoreboard system overall has a lot of potential. Like I showed you, there's actually some other things we can do. So scoreboard objective add, and we'll say count. No, we'll just say score. Now if you see here, there's player count, total count, dummy, and death count. So you can actually tell the number of times a player kills another player, the number of times somebody actually gets any kill, a blank one, as well as the death count, which is just, of course, how many times the player has died. In fact, we can do this right now. Set. And we'll do this one in the sidebar. Okay. And thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you guys next time.